Never done it. Debut win would be perfect, but no, I'm here to enjoy it and survive.
.55 or coming up to 55, so I thought I'll give it a go.
It's like a quality field Huskisson bring down, so you know it's the best of the best, and I'm hopefully one of them, and I'll win. Yeah.
So I might get a prize for coming last.
Fantastic effort, champion. Well done.
I've cycled the course this morning, sussed out all the bits where I can get advantage.
It's the swim that's the hard bit. I've just got to make sure I don't drown in the swim.
When I awoke on the Sunday morning to see storm and rain for the second year running, it's a little bit daunting that you worry about the athlete's safety, you worry about if all your volunteers are going to turn up and stand in the rain on the corners, and within an hour or so the rain had eased off and the sun started to shine, and as the sun shines I think we all start to shine, and so do the athletes, so it was, we're quite fortunate that it panned out a nice sunny day. So they're quite happy to jump in the water under those conditions, and I think a little bit of rain there flattened the water out, and it was quite glassy and quite picturesque on beautiful Jervis Bay.
Get him to straighten up a bit. Current's running south.
During the swim league, I saw the surf club guys bring in a rubber ducky with one athlete in it, and the guy that they brought in actually got seasick on Jervis Bay during the swim league, so it doesn't happen too much in triathlon, but he came in and showed us his breakfast, and off he went again. Yeah, the swim went probably about 99%, I'd say. We probably could have had a few more buoys out there in the water. A few athletes weren't real happy with, they couldn't see the turnaround buoys, but they're little things that we'll sort out for next year, and just to make our events get a little bit better as we go along. When the swimmers exit the water, they came up into White Sands Park at Huskisson, and they mount their bikes there, and they take their bikes out walk their bikes out into the road, and they mount their bikes and off they go for their 80-kilometre cycle around Jervis Bay in the Huskisson area. The transition is whether you go from the swim to the bike, or also from the bike to the run. So athletes need to be reasonably brisk in there, getting changed from their swim gear to their bike gear, and vice versa from their bike gear to their run gear. So if they spend 5 minutes in there, that 5 minutes is all part of their overall time. So the athletes will train during their hours of training they do to have their nice fast transitions. The bike section of Huskisson is quite deceiving. In a car it doesn't look very hilly and it looks fairly fast and flat. When you actually got to get on the bike and ride it, the road surfaces are very slow. There's some long, slow climbs there. It makes it a quite challenging bike course, which is good for the athletes and breaks the large packs up that seem to form when they're riding for 80 kilometres. We've had a lot of support from local police and local council, where we have total road closure for the direction of the cyclists. So this makes it very easy for us to organise logistically, and it also makes it very safe for the athletes and also the public who are on the roads at the same time. I think triathlon is like any other sport. You know, there are the people who are quite competitive, and the people who like to finish and achieve their own little goals and their own little their destinations in life. So it does get quite competitive. There are people there who like to win. There are people there who like to gain an Australian title. So those people will be quite competitive, and they seasonally race each other at other events around the state, around the country. So they know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and they'll look out for each other during the event, and the challenges are on there. The event is growing quite rapidly over the last 2 years we've had it. The first year we had around about 800 competitors, and this year we topped just over 1,200 competitors over the whole weekend, which is quite incredible for an event on the South Coast in its second year. The event is quite appealing for a number of reasons. We come to a small community town like Huskisson on the south coast, where the community gets right behind it. We had over 500 volunteers who support the event. I think also the location of the event is we try to sell not just the event and the triathlon itself, but we also try to sell the location. And the location of Huskisson on Jervis Bay is just so picturesque, and athletes just want to come back and train and race here. Most of the athletes who actually come to Huskisson Triathlon, the long course here, haven't been to Huskisson at all, or very rarely come here. They come to the event and bring their families, and I think once they see the event and they see the area and the location, it's quite appealing for them to be able to race and let the families relax while they're here. And triathlon is a little bit of a selfish sport, so it's good to look after the wives and the girlfriends and the husbands who come to watch and support the athletes. We have a large team of what I call directors. We have like a team of directors of about 17 directors which help us out. Most of them are all volunteers. These directors are, for example, we have a swim director and a bike director, we have a volunteer director, a medical director, and the list is sort of quite lengthy with all the different directors. And those people sort of scan out into the community and find people who are specialising in that area. Medical director will get people from hospital or from the Defence Force, Navy, medical teams. Swim director will get people from surf clubs. The bike course people will get people from the bike club, and that team sort of all comes together and to produce an event of this nature.
Bike run swim, we attend the
Yeah, currently doing preparation for Ironman in Port Macquarie, so it'll be a good practice race to do before that.
I have to make sure that I time the event, so I've got to have an appropriate watch.
Very relaxed, very laid back, low traffic, good atmosphere.
Oh, it's just picturesque, it's beautiful. It's like run along the water, the rides in like the forest, and it's nice and shaded.
When he's out of the water, I need to tell him where he's at, who's beating him, that kind of thing.
It's a good vibe down here. It's a great place and great location to have a race as well. So
Tell him how he's going through his transition. If he's slow, give him a bit of a yell, rev him up a bit.
The people are very friendly. The event is run very well indeed. So as I say, we'll be back next year.
Basically, it's a full-on day.
It's their opportunity to perform, play out their role, be an athlete, mix, meet people, integrate.
I really enjoy it. So I like the challenge and I like pushing myself to the limit. So
Craig Alexander is down today, and he's doing autographs for the kids. It's just nice. It's nice that those elite athletes will give something back to the sport.
Hopefully he might get into the World Champs and go to Hamburg. Now there's a good holiday.
Really good people do triathlons.
The run section for a long course triathlon is 20 kilometres. The 20 kilometre run section for the Huskisson long course triathlon this year is 2 10 kilometre loops, and it's a quite pleasant run. It's probably 99% flat. It runs along the foreshore there of Jervis Bay, along near the white sands there, so they get the sea breeze as they're coming in. For these distance events, the athletes need to have a lot of fuel on board and fuel in their system. We have aid stations set up on the course. We give them electrolyte drinks, and we also give them food to keep going and at their optimal levels. The professional triathletes for our event this year has a cash pool of $10,000 Australian. And the athletes, the age group athletes, will win prizes and no prize money for the age groupers, but they will win product sponsorship from our sponsors and just the glory of having an Australian championship, becoming an Australian champion. Yeah, Daniel McPherson, he's pretty one of those guys that he is quite sexy, or he says he is, and they think he is. So he attracts the spectators. So he's a nice guy and he's a great athlete, and he does justice for the sport. He's very good. The volunteers for a triathlon are probably our major area that we need to control the event and to make the event enjoyable. The volunteers come from all walks of life in the community, and I know without these volunteers from the community, this race wouldn't happen. Faster athletes will compete and do around about 3.5 hours, and we also have a 7-hour cut-off time. And there are some athletes who push that limit to close to 7 hours. So a lot of people who come to these events don't normally train in their preparation to do the same time as they do on race day. So they will struggle sometimes to, from 4 or 5 hours onwards. This could be affected by their nutrition that they have or haven't had. Could be affected by pre-race preparations or sickness or illness, but those strugglers, we always try to get everyone across the finish line and give everyone that finisher towel.
Also Daniel Crowe, the Michael Smith. Dave is presently second in his age group.
Triathlon is an extremely selfish sport. Athletes just like to have that challenge to strive for. It's an event that that involves the 3 disciplines of swimming, biking and running. But to have an event or a challenge in life, I think people like to have those challenges and to get out there and be able to achieve the challenge that they've chosen, depending on what distance it is. It's a great personal feeling and good satisfaction inside yourself. Triathlon is also the only sport that I know of probably in the world where you can toe the start line with the Australian champions or with world champions and start your race with the best in the world. You can't do that in tennis or golf or cricket or any other sport in the world. So that's another little bonus I think that our sport of triathlon has. Yeah, one other advantage in the sport of triathlon is we compete as both age groupers and also professional athletes. Professional athletes will come to an event to compete for prize money and also for prestige to take home an Australian championship. And the athletes, the run-of-the-mill athletes will come and compete in an age group category where they compete against their own athletes against within their own age group, and these athletes will also be competing for an Australian Championships. The finish line is obviously the pinnacle of your event. You've trained hard and you've had lots of sacrifices within your sport and in your training and in your family life and in your social life and your commitments. So when it's always that last couple of kilometres, that finish line, and you can hear the music pumping, you can hear the DJs, and you can hear the commentators. So you lift sort of to another level to get to that finish line, and it's a good buzz, it's a good feeling inside.
It was a tough day, but I was happy to get the win. It was my 5th long course title, so I guess that's something special. I guess the sponsors kind of expect you to win when you've won a few of these, but it's never easy. It's all well and good to look at the start list before the race and on paper think who you think's going to win, but you've still got to go out there and race the race. And Pete and Josh and the boys made it tough for me today, and it was a pretty good hit out. I'm happy with the way I went. There's so many good guys out there that anyone could win. I mean, any one of probably 5 guys. So really what I try to do is just concentrate on myself and get the best out of myself, the best performance, and not make any little mistakes. And usually if you do that, you can walk away, having had a good performance and relatively happy. I think at the top level you really need to put in the miles and do the work. All the boys do it, and the girls, so it's definitely something you've got to do.
It was pretty tough today. It was the swim was a little bit wavy once you got out a bit, and it was a little bit messy. It was hard to see the boys, so everyone was sort of swimming a little bit zigzaggy, and it's a good challenging course and sorts out who's fit and who's not.
Thank you. I needed that one. It's great to come back and have a first race win, and especially Australian title. I'm just over the moon, thank you.
Congratulations to Beck. She hasn't been racing for a couple of years, and all that time she was out, I knew she was going to come back stronger and stronger, and she's a great athlete, and congratulations to Beck today. She deserves a win.
McPherson, come on. As soon as he runs past.
Considering I was in bed 2 days ago vomiting and had some stomach bug, I was surprised I couldn't even walk on Friday morning, so pretty happy with that.
Conditions are probably good for them. It's nice and cool. But I just seen some of a couple of people we know. They're doing it hard. Gee, it's not an easy event.
But yeah, it was a really good race, really good course, and lots of spectators, so it was very well organised.
Usually tight hamstrings, calves and quads. They're very tight, and we're just trying to do our best to loosen that off for them.
This is the best time, definitely. Time to get rid of all the soreness out of the body. So let somebody else do the work. People around here are fantastic, the scenery is great, and we've even decided to stay on one extra day just to enjoy ourselves afterwards, so definitely be back next year.
Well organised, thank you volunteers.
Long course is a fairly long day, between 3.5 hours and 7 hours, and every athlete is welcome home. And I feel as though that the athletes who are the stragglers, the people who come in at 6 or 7 hours, they get more glory and more accolades than the people who are the winners who are up the front there. The event at Jervis Bay here always seems to have a great vibe, a great feel of it. And I think if you treat every athlete as another customer, if they're coming into your shop or into your car yard, and you give them that little special treatment. I think they all feel welcome, and that's just part of the why these events down here on the South Coast are quite successful, and people just keep coming back. I've been involved in triathlons now for just over 30 years, and I'm passionate about these events. I've competed for Australia, and I've competed overseas. I've already organised many events all around New South Wales, and now I had the opportunity to organise an event of my own on the South Coast. I just threw my heart and soul into it, and this, I think the feelings that I put into the event come out in the people that I work with and that I work for, and the people who come and work for me. We're like a big family group, and I think the athletes can feel this passion that's coming from the organisers and feel that what we put into the event, and I think that's just what makes the event so successful. I think all triathletes have that air about them, that they look cool and they feel good, and it's part of the sport, I think. These events wouldn't be able to happen at the level they do without these sponsors. We like to treat our sponsors as friends, and we like to look after them as well at the event and post and before the event and after the event as well. So I for one would like to thank all our sponsors that are involved this year, and I know the athletes would, and I know all the volunteers and the people who helped out would like to thank all our sponsors.